So what's good, Straw Gang, and welcome back to yet another top 5 video. The last one I did was about a week ago on the top 5 best SMGs for Warzone Season 4, and that popped 10k views in a week, which is absolutely amazing, so I really appreciate the support. And this one we're going to be taking a look at the assault rifles, not long range specifically. I've gone and mixed up a little bit, included some medium range as well, and I think you can guess what they might be. Not every one of these is viable at long range. It's more of a bit of a mixture to give it, some variety and switch it up a little bit. So as usual, there's going to be timestamps down on the video timeline down below, or chapters, whatever you want to call them, if you want to skip to a certain weapon or see what I'm using for the class setup and everything like that. If you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like. I'd really appreciate that as well, and consider subscribing with notifications on, because I've got lots of content coming each and every single day this month. So yeah, with that being said, let's hop right into it. So to kick this list off at the number 5 spot, I'm going to be starting off with the FFAR. Now the reason I've put it in the number 5 spot, a bit quite lower on the list, actually the lowest weapon on this list, is because despite it still being a top viable weapon, it just doesn't hit the way it used to. Like if you look at what the gun was a couple months ago when it was in its prime, obviously it was so much more dominant. You pretty much couldn't use anything else at medium to close range, but now with a lot of weapon adjustments, the FFAR has definitely come down quite a few tiers. It's given room for more weapons to be viable at close and medium, which is good. Like I can finally use SMGs at close and medium the way they should be. We do have a very, very balanced, healthy meta for the game where we can use a lot of different things. Now moving on to the class setup for the FFAR, I'm going to be using the normal suppressor, as well as reinforced heavy, Raider stock, the 50 round mag, as well as the airborne elastic wrap. Now usually I don't use a barrel on the FFAR, but like I mentioned before, I feel like this gun doesn't hit as much, and adding the barrel to this for some reason just kind of makes it feel like it hits a little bit more. Honestly, that's just personal preference. I don't know if it actually does, but it just gives that, that extra little bit to the FFAR. It gives it a little bit less recoil. So if you want to use something else, I would go with the Tiger Team Spotlight, but the reinforced heavy is what I'm using for this class specifically, as well as the gameplay in the background. So with that being said, that is my number 5 spot for this list. So coming in at the number 4 spot is going to be one of my current favorite assault rifles weapons overall, and that is going to be the XM4. This thing is an absolute monster for close and medium. I actually haven't tested it out for long range, using axial arms and trying to use this as a main long range weapon. That's something I still have yet to do, but as a medium range weapon and a close range, like a support weapon for a sniper or something like that, this is more than viable. It is most definitely a top weapon right now. It's one of my favorite guns. I love using it. Now as for the class setup, I'm going to be rocking the standard sound suppressor, yet again with reinforced heavy, Tiger Team Spotlight, the Raider pad, and the 45 round speed mag. Now I find this class to be absolutely perfect. The only thing that you could possibly change would be maybe 45 rounds for 60, depends on how you're using it though, but this is a medium to close range, so having that 45 will give you an upper hand with the ADS speed. Obviously you're going to be competing against SMGs, so you kind of want to find a good balance, and I feel like this class setup is perfect for that. If you want to try it long range, chuck on axial, take off Tiger Team, swap this the 45 for the 60, and you're good to go. But I haven't tried that out yet, so I can't recommend it, and that is my number 4 spot for this list. Alright, so now that I'm done with the 2 ARs that are medium and close, we're going to be going on to the top 3 spots, being 3 long range assault rifles that can be used at medium as well, and really all ranges, but preferably long range. And coming in at the number 3 spot is going to be one of my personal favorite long range ARs, and I'll talk a little bit about why it's not higher on the list in just a second, but we're going to be talking about the Cold War AK-47. Now this gun would be higher on the list, but the recoil is still just a little bit bouncy. I do find myself having a bit of trouble controlling it here and there, so I feel like for the casual player, for someone who just jumps on and doesn't play as much as I do, they might find trouble controlling it as well, and that's why it's not higher on the list. When I do these list videos, I want to make sure that all of the weapons kind of cater to everyone, and then I base that on where I place the weapon. So with all that out of the way, getting onto the class setup, I'm going to be rocking the standard sound suppressor, as well as the Spetsnaz RPK barrel, Spetsnaz grip, the Bakelite 60 round mag, and the axial arms 3 times. Now the reason I'm using the normal suppressor is because, like I said, you can have situations where you use this gun at medium range, and that's kind of how I like to build my long range assault rifles anyway. I like to have them be good for both ranges, medium and long, and the suppressor with the Spetsnaz RPK barrel is just like a perfect balance, right? If you use agency, it feels too much like kind of going on to that slow LMG ADS, and I personally just don't feel comfortable with that. So yeah, that's why a little explanation about the normal suppressor over agency, or GRU in this case, for the AK-47, and that is going to be my Cold War AK-47 class setup for the number 3 spot on this list. So coming in at the number 2 spot, oh, we're getting up the list, boys. We're getting up to that number 1 spot in the top weapon. For the number 2 spot, we're going to be looking at one of the lowest recoil, easiest to control assault rifles for long range here in Warzone, and that is going to be the KRIG 6. Now, the only negative thing I have to say about this, when going for gameplay with it and using it, you know, in the last couple of days and everything like that, I feel like it's a bit of a pea shooter. It doesn't hit as much, but when it comes to controlling it and the recoil and everything, it does not move whatsoever. Like, this gun feels absolutely insane, and that's why it's at the number 2 spot. Like I said, I gotta cater to everyone when I do these lists. When it's low recoil, man, everyone's gonna enjoy using that. Everyone's gonna love it, so it's gonna be higher on that list. The class setup for the KRIG 6 is gonna be pretty similar to everything else for my long range ARs. It's gonna be the normal suppressor, as well as the CMV mil spec, axial arms 3 times, field agent grip, and the Stanag 60 round mag. I'm not gonna, you know, harp on about it, but as I mentioned before with the Cold War AK, I'm using the standard suppressor because I like to have my weapons, my long range ARs, be good for medium as well, while my SMG covers that close range, you know, in the buildings and everything like that, and it works perfectly. I always find a balance between long and medium for my assault rifles to be absolutely perfect. So that's pretty much it for the KRIG 6 at the number 2 spot on this list. Alright, so coming in at the number 1 spot for the top 5 assault rifles to use here in Warzone Season 4, I'm going to be placing the one and only FARA 83. Now, you possibly expected to see the C58 on this list, and at the end of the video, I will talk about why I haven't placed it on this list, just so we can get on with the class setup and you guys don't have to wait too long. But yeah, the FARA 83, man, it's pretty much the KRIG, but on crack, right? It's the KRIG on crack, dude. As I mentioned with the KRIG, it's got very low recoil. It's easy to control, but it's a little bit weaker. It feels like a bit more of a pea shooter. With the FARA 83, it's the complete opposite. Like, this gun is, I don't really know what to compare this to. Maybe like the M4 in its prime, or the Grau, maybe that's a little bit too much of a, maybe it's a little bit overrated there, but I don't know, man. Look, this gun is just an absolute monster. It has that low recoil, very easy to control, but at the same time it hits and it just absolutely fries people. So with that being said, covering the class setup is going to be similar. We've got the normal suppressor, as well as the Spetsnaz RPK barrel, the Spetsnaz grip, Spetsnaz 60 round mag, and the axial arms 3 times, very similar to the other classes that I've done for the long range assault rifles. This thing has such low recoil to the point where you don't even need an underbarrel. I'm just putting that in there for the people who want the absolute lowest recoil, but the only thing I'd switch out instead of the Spetsnaz grip is probably like KGB skeletal or Raider stock. Those two are really good as well to give you that aim walking movement speed. That is going to be the top 5 list for the best assault rifles in Season 4. I really hope you guys enjoyed. And more about the C58, it's a DLC weapon. I know that a lot of people probably don't have it, so when I went into making this list, I was like, I'll leave it out, I'll do a separate video on it and do an updated ARs video, you know, in a couple weeks, when pretty much everyone will have it at that point. And also, I actually don't have it leveled up. It's like level 38 for me. It's not maxed out. And I just wanted to get this video out, man. I didn't want to have to level it up and all that type of stuff in Cold War. So I'm just doing a top 5 list for the basic ARs that you don't have to do anything to unlock. These are just guns that you'll already have, I'm pretty sure, right? I'm pretty sure by now everyone has all these weapons. So that's kind of my my thought process into not putting the C58 in this. But like I said, man, that is going to wrap it up for the top 5 ARs list here in Warzone Season 4. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you made it to this point in the video and you're still watching and haven't subbed, you may as well by now, dude. Clearly you like the video, you're still watching. Drop a like on it, hit that red sub button with post notifications on so you don't miss any future content coming to the channel. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll catch you all next one. Have a great day, everybody, and I'm out.